Hey, Jan. Just wanted to ask you about Coach Bluter to start off. I mean, finalist for the Naismith, obviously a 24-year legacy. People got to celebrate her today. Can you just kind of describe her impact on this program and your careers?
Why I'm here. I think everybody is why all the crowd's here. That's why, she moved the needle, changed a lot of people's lives, changed a lot of people's careers. What I think is the coolest thing is so often, I think in every profession, we keep chasing what everybody tells us is the ultimate success. And so I hope she gets into the Hall because I think she's one of the most incredible people. The way she coached, how she coached. I got to see her, front row seat for most of her career. Humble, understood the mission you want to win. But what I really respected is, she went out and she went out on her terms, and I think she showed people how to be a champion, unfortunately, without the ultimate. I think as she handled the first Final Four and all the shenanigans around it in a split second, all the questions. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget her speech she delivered after we lost to South Carolina last year. Class, leader, friend.
Wanted to ask about the way the first half went. Obviously not the start you guys wanted
I
to have.
prefer to talk about the second.
You can add on the second half if you want to.
Yeah.
Just was there anything in particular that happened in the first half?
No, I think it's probably my fault. I think I got really tight. I was really, I thought they let it go really physical. Not why we lost, but I think I got a little incensed. I think I couldn't believe a possession call. And I think I'm learning, I'm learning and growing. So I could have made him a little bit tight. So I'm going to take that. We got a lot of youth playing in a pretty big game. It's just, I don't know, I felt really prepared. I'm thankful for the second half because I think that looked like maybe, we were a little bit more prepared. But in defense of that, you can, the other team also was up by 20. They're probably not as sharp as the start. But I would have to watch the film. But, man, we left a lot of unforced errors and left a lot of layups on the table. I think that just is unfortunate. When you're playing a good team, we missed layups. We had some mental miscues. I was trying to do some first time, maybe not real smart. I was trying to mix up some defenses. Maybe we weren't ready for that. And I think that led up to some transition buckets. And, I think it does go back. I've been trying to tell this group, they don't really see themselves as 2 times in the national championship game because a lot of them, are 6 or new. But we're getting everybody's shot because, Caitlin's number is still on the floor, right? And the memory of that and this crowd. You want to come in as a visitor, and you don't want the crowd to sway you. So they shot the ball really, really well. They don't usually shoot it that well from the threes collectively. So I think that was a lot of it.
Just whatever the result today, obviously there was going to be a lot of basketball left. But this group, how do you make this a productive moment?
Well, I'm thankful for the second half because this group, that's what they did against Tennessee. We had 31 turnovers that game, right? But they never quit. We could have won the game at the Tennessee game, crazy as that sounds. But it's because they kind of did what they did in the second half, right? Same at Michigan State. We kind of, we have these different lulls. I'm not happy with our starts. We didn't start great at Penn State, and we didn't start great today. And I got to figure out why, right? But the beauty of them is I've never lost a huddle, and over a 32-year career, we've lost a few huddles that you get too hot or, they just look too fearful, that look like deer in headlights. That has not happened, not one time, even when we got down, real early, and I called that first time out. They usually respond. So I think that, we can kind of build on that. That's what I talked about. I said, I kind of talk about what we did do well, what we need to do better, and what's next. And so what we did do well is we had a great second half when we rebounded. What we need to improve is our starts and, making some layups, right, under pressure. And what's next is Illinois.
Yeah, Jan, by my count, I think it's 74 turnovers in your 3 losses combined. How is that a concern for you right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is. I've kind of tracked. We have a lot of youth making it. What was unfortunate when we got it to 6, we had a really bad turnover that led to try to tell them, like, eat the turnover. You don't want a live ball turnover. And we threw it right into the hands of number 2. Smichael went down and hit it and went to 8. Got the crowd really into it. So I just need to do a little better job of, trying to maybe put him under a little bit more duress in practice. But, yeah, it's a big concern because if you take I'd say even if you took 5 turnovers off of Tennessee, we might have won it. And that still would have been 26, right? I mean, what might have won it, right? If you take 5 off, we take another 5 off, that'd be 19 at Michigan State. Pretty sure to won that, right? Here, today. So we need to do better entering to the post. That is a concern. We've been really good at that, and we're not that good at it right now. So I gotta figure that out. I'm not spending enough time on it with tension. We're doing it, but I think I need to figure out a way to have a little more tension. I mean, that's the only thing right now, being kind of emotional after a loss, but I'll learn a little bit more with the tape. Yeah.
Chad?
Yeah, I mean, I think 17 of the turnovers from your starting 5, so the veterans had a big
Absolutely.
part of that. But
Absolutely.
I guess turning to the youth, it seems like you earned maybe some trust with the young players today. I guess where are you at to balance what they're giving you, but also still going back
Yeah,
to
I mean, I think that, I'll be honest, that this is kind of new territory for me, and I'm sure I get a lot of help on social media. I get a lot of people throwing stuff at me. But, you have a lot of youth, and you kind of hope your vets are going to be the ones, at crunch time. And so you're learning and you're balancing. So I do think even vet coaches will tell you, when you've been pretty stagnant, 6, 7 players that really been playing the last few years, and now we can maybe have 9, and trying to do combinations. I think we blew a couple of combinations tonight. I can think of them on the top of my head. We had a rhythm, and then we maybe didn't have the rhythm, but that's a mistake. It's too much into the season now. But yeah, I'm feeling more and more confident with the youth. I think they can really help us, and this team's really selfless. I mean, they're beating themselves up, just as much as I am. Well, maybe not quite as much, but I know they really care and they're selfless. So they're figuring it out, but I think we constantly are too. But I liked a lot what I saw of our youth, because I do think our vets, we did have some uncharacteristic things that you can't really have to start a game, right?
Adam?
So going back to getting the ball into the post, I know plus minus is a pretty noisy stat, but Addie was a minus 19 tonight, and it looked like a lot of the turnovers were trying to get the ball into her. Is that, is a minus 19, did that sort of accurately reflect the struggles that your team was having when she was on the floor? And is that really where most of your struggles were, getting the ball into the post?
Yeah, I think we, on the fast break in the first half, we tried to go, throw it up, and then we stare, and then we're going to try to make a pass, and it was like, errant, right? I didn't want to enter from the wing. I wanted to go top and in. And if you remember the third quarter, we were doing a lot of action that was top and in. And I think that's a little better for us right now. And I think part of that was, and plus minus, also, but, they were really, that first half, they were really rebounding pretty hard on Addie too. So defensively, she had to work kind of harder, and, the rebounding, and then if you're not getting it to her, she can't be as productive. So yes, I would have liked to have done more of what we did in the second half, the first half, but it was just, I think, the pressure, we kept trying to throw it from the wing, and that was my least desirable spot, but good pass. I think Taylor made one to start the second half, swim low into maybe Hayden, that was pretty good. So we do have to get better at that, but that's probably a very strong correlation.
Maryland's back to being Maryland, it looks like. What do you think of them?
I think they're really great. I think Brenda's a tremendous coach. I think when you have, I think forward players are portal players, and when you get it right and you get some great portal people and you can get that chemistry going pretty quick, the beauty of that is their experience and they're older, but they're not just older. They've been somewhere and it hasn't been great, right? They chose, right, to leave. So you kind of have the disappointments, the setbacks. So they're a little seasoned, right? So then when they get here and you got a really good coach and they're really enjoying it, they've had so many battle scars, mentally, emotionally, physically, that when it's starting to really feel good, man, you get the best of them. And Brenda is doing a really good job with this team. They're good kids. They're found a great home. And so you get instant experience. And, one came from, UConn and by way of Arkansas. So they've been in places like this. And so there's a little different chip and edge, right, when you get it rolling. And, I'm really happy for her because she's, it does look like her teams of more of the past when they've been Maryland. So I think that's a bonus of that when it works. And, that too, Smichael used to be at Rutgers. So she's really great addition. She was really great at Rutgers. So, I think she's just done a really good job, her and her staff.
Yeah, Coach. What does it say about this group, given the mixture of talent, veteran talent, young talent? What does it say that they were able to, come very close to a historic comeback after being down by 24 points?
As I talked to him about halftime, I just said, hey, I think I blew it for you. I got a little bit tight. Maybe you're not used to seeing me like that. I said, but I've been part of a 24-point comeback before. I said, I'm really feeling like if you can cut this thing. I said, but you got to know I'm not just telling you this to just save it. And I felt those eyes. I really did. And I said, it's going to be harder than heck. I said, it's going to be really, really hard. We got to get stops upon stops upon stops. And that when we got it to 6, I would have, crystal ball, I would have liked to seen if we could have hit something. Because this place, got pretty loud for us. So I was really pleased because you can't really do what we did, even if Maryland was on their heels, if they didn't really dig in and believe it too. And that's why they're fun to coach. It wasn't so fun, right? The beginning when we were looking like we, weren't prepared. But I do like that resilience. And, that's the thing. If you handle a loss right, it can really be helpful. And I'm just trying to, make sure we handle it right, me included. And I think if we handle it right, we can draw on it. We can draw on the second half when we get into another dogfight later on. But what I really want to do is make sure that we don't dig a hole like that, especially at home. That's the thing that's perplexing.
Thanks, Jan.
Yeah. Thank you all. Appreciate you covering us.
Yeah, just simply, what was the difference in the second half? Was it an effort thing, or just playing better? What kind of flipped the switch?
Yeah, I don't know. We definitely need to have some talks about how we started the past 2 games. We can't have starts like that in the Big Ten. The Big Ten is so good, and I thought we did fight, like you said, to the end. The second half, we played much better. We outscored them in the second half too. So, we just gotta mimic that and make that a full game of basketball. We can't only do it for 20 minutes.
Question for either of you. What do you feel like contributed to the first half struggles? Was there anything that you can point to in particular that you felt like went wrong?
I think like what Sid said, we just have to talk about it, figure it out. Obviously something is going to be able to be changed, but they're a good team. We just got to, come out stronger.
Chad. I'll go with you, Sid. What did you see? I mean, at one point I think Jan put most of the freshmen in, really unique lineup out there. I guess what did you see from them to spark you guys back? And obviously she rode the veterans more in the second half, but those young players seem like they're ready.
Yeah, I think everyone on the bench and our starters, everyone plays such a crucial role on this team. And, you know, I've been in their position too. You never know when your name's going to be called, and I think they've done a great job of that. And we need them coming off the bench. You know, starters were coming off, we're not playing a full 40 minutes. So I think they did a great job, and we're going to need them in the future, so keep pouring confidence into them.
It's obviously January 5th, whatever the result today, there's a lot of basketball left. So I guess what's the best route to making this a productive moment even in defeat?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things is we out-rebounded them by 3, and I think that's really important. And I think we did play a small lineup a lot of the times with Hannah at the 5. So, you know, I think defense is definitely a key for us this year for sure. You know, it leads into our transition offense, which is our best offense. But, you know, it's better to learn from a win. But we'll just watch the film, learn from it, and move on. It's such a long season, and the Big Ten is so good, so we just got to get better and learn from our losses, and we'll be fine.
So it looked like there was a lot of the turnovers came from entry passes, you know, into the post, and it looked like the timing had been a little bit off for most of the day. Is that something that you guys thought you were having trouble with against this Maryland defense, you know, thrown into the post, and how do you get past those hiccups?
Yeah, I think as a guard, like, we got to make some better passes and better decisions, see where the defense is playing them. Yeah, we work on it a lot, but I think a lot of it's mental, and we just got to be confident in our passes to the post, and we know that when they get the ball, they're going to do something great with it, but sometimes the help is overplaying or they're playing differently than we're anticipating, so we got to see the perimeter as well.
Thanks, guys.